Hello and welcome to this week's video. This week we look at words and phrases used when learning about what makes a seaside town so interesting and enjoyable to visit. Don't forget to like and subscribe and stay until the end to test your knowledge by taking our quiz on seaside towns. Anyway, let's get started with the first term. The first phrase of this video is Queen of Seaside Resorts. Let's take a look at the definition and how we would use this phrase in an everyday sentence. But first of all, as always, let's take a look at the pronunciation. Queen of the Seaside Resorts. And again, Queen of the Seaside Resorts. Fantastic. Now let's take a look at the definition of Queen of the Seaside Resorts. The best of any kind of beach area, nationally or internationally, where the main attraction for tourists is the beach. Interesting. So now let's take a look at an example sentence. Scarborough is the Queen of Seaside Resorts in the UK. This is thanks to the long, sandy beaches and local attractions. Our second phrase this week is the place which has got the lot. Well, we'll assess the definition along with looking at an example sentence, but first we'll investigate how to pronounce this phrase. The place which has got the lot. And again, the place which has got the lot. Fantastic. So now we can take a look at the definition. This is the place which has everything anyone will need at a seaside resort. There will be great beaches, hotels, and attractions. Fantastic. So let's take a look at an example sentence. Scarborough has got the lot for tourists. It has great hotels, beaches, restaurants, attractions, and even a historic castle. The next phrase in this week's video is wide sandy bays. We'll take a look at the definition as well as an example sentence. The first thing we'll do, however, is look at the pronunciation. Wide sandy bays. Great. And again, wide sandy bays. Fantastic. Now that means we can move on to have a look at the definition. These are beaches which have plenty of sand and stretch far from the sea to the land. They also stretch a long way down the coast. That's super interesting. So now let's develop this by looking at an example sentence. Scarborough has two wide sandy bays, the North and South Bays. These beaches stretch a long way from north to south. The penultimate word this week is harbour. As ever, we'll take a look at the definition as well as an example sentence. But firstly, let's assess how to pronounce harbour. Harbour. And again, harbour. Fantastic. So now we can move on to having a look at the definition of harbour. This is a place by the sea where boats are taken when they are not used. Harbours are protected by sea walls from rough seas. Interesting. So let's learn a little more by looking at a sentence. Scarborough's harbour has both fishing and tourist boats. Tourists are attracted by fresh fish and also enjoy taking rides in boats. We've now reached the final word of this week's lesson, and this is pleasure boats. But what are these? Well, we'll find out in the definition and then have a look at an example sentence of where we can use pleasure boats. But firstly, let's pronounce this new word, pleasure boats. Pleasure boats. Great. And again, pleasure boats. Fantastic. So now let's take a look at the definition of pleasure boats and learn a little more. These are boats which are used to take tourists on short journeys. They take them out to sea, on lakes, or along rivers. Interesting. So now we've got the definition, we can learn more with a sentence. The Scarborough pleasure boats are very popular and take tourists around the North and South Bays. Now it is time to test your knowledge with our weekly quiz to see how much of today's lesson you can remember. We will ask you 3 questions on the vocabulary we have learnt during this Seaside video. Question number 1. Which is another word for a beach? Would it be A, Tay, B, K, or C, Bay? And the correct answer for question number 1 is C, Bay. Question number 2. Where are boats kept when not used? Would they be kept in A harbour, B, a lock, or C, a bay? And the correct answer for question 2 is A, Harbour. Question number 3. Which boats are used to take tourists for trips? Would it be A, party boats, B, pleasure boats, or C, fun boats? And the correct answer for question 3 is B, pleasure boats. Let us know in the comments how you did in this week's quiz, and congratulations if you got all 3 questions correct. Thank you for joining us again today. If you have any questions about this video, or would like us to explain a term for you from any context, then please post your question in the comments box below. We are always happy to help you out. Don't forget to like our video to help us gain more viewers and to expand our channel in order to provide you with an even better experience. Why not press the subscribe button and bell notification icon so you never miss one of our future videos. Next week we will be looking at words and phrases related to construction. Once again, thank you very much for joining us this week, and we'll see you again next week. Goodbye.